wrestling fans of the internet. Welcome back to another episode of the MainLine at Linwood Wrestling Legends. As always, we are coming to you live and direct from an abandoned warehouse in Linwood. So if you love wrestling as much as we do here at Linwood Wrestling Legends, then you just gotta hop on that MainLine. As always, I'm your faithful host and color commentator, John. If you've got the itch to see some good old-fashioned, bone-crushing, action-packed wrestling, then we are very much here to scratch that itch with another stacked card of great wrestling. Oh, but hang on a sec. I think something's jumping off in the parking lot. Let's go take a look right now. Sweet merciful crap! Mustafa Korkamas is being ambushed in the car park. This is absolutely disgusting. The Boxburg Butcher is not about to let that teabagging go. Oh, hey Ernie, isn't that your car? This is not looking good for the Electric Gigolo, or Ernie the cameraman. And here comes the boss. I wonder if this is about what we just saw in the parking lot. That would be my first guess. But then again, there has been so much craziness going around lately, it could very well be anything. Alright, boss man, lay it on us. Merch sales and bums on seats. That train is never late. Oh, I think I know where this is going, and this might actually be good news. But vaya con Dios, Senor Mendoza. And hola, Senor Rodriguez. We are all about that Colombian Baron money. Don't ask no questions, folks. Nothing to see here, but it's still much more ethical than Saudi Arabian blood money. And oh hell yeah, folks, we are doing it. Finally. A tribute delayed is not necessarily a tribute denied. R.I.P. Chico. Man, I've never been to Colombia. This is exciting. I am going to Colombia, right Todd? You can't do this show without John the commentator. And way to ruin it with something completely tone deaf. And how dare you speak ill of all the wonderful people who watch this on YouTube. But there you have it, folks. 5 weeks from now, we are finally doing the Chico Hernandez Memorial Rumble in beautiful Medellin, Colombia. Now this is a real ray of sunshine in what has otherwise been a couple of dismal months at this promotion. Alright Linwood, first match of the evening, and I'm just gonna straight out say it. I hate me some Kimberly Sullivan, and you don't even want to know how much I hate her new boy toy, Corey 312. That said, she's still one of the best high flyers in this promotion, and tonight she faces off against the powerhouse that is the Shield Maiden Skadë, whose name we can finally spell properly now that we've finally figured out how to do Ormlorts. So let's put all those Ormlorts in a big bag and head ringside right now to check it out. The following match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, representing Broforce 1 and accompanied by her manager, Corey 312. From Brisbane, Queensland in Australia, she is the mean girl, Kimberly Sullivan. Oh god, please make it stop. I think I just vomited in my mouth a little. I can taste a bit of bile. But that said, both of these two are horrible people, and they kinda deserve each other. And if I may play devil's advocate for a second, if Corey wants to take Kimberly for his new wrestling promotion, I say we let him. Good riddance to bad Australian rubbish. If Corey starts recruiting wrestlers I actually like, maybe then I'll have cause for concern. But for now, I say let's just let him take the victory. But I swear to God, if you even think about trying to recruit Lady Liberty, I will not be a happy camper. And her opponent, representing the Great Heathen Army. From Bergen, Norway, she is the Shield Maiden, Skadë! You know, folks, one of these days we're gonna break out a $20 bill and invest in a fancy Norwegian keyboard that's actually got umlauts. For all I know, maybe we're being culturally insensitive by not spelling Skadë's name with umlauts. I mean, if we had a German wrestler who had one of those weird backwards B's that represents two S's, and we spelled it with two S's, I'd feel pretty culturally insensitive about that too. And as somebody who opposes any kind of bigotry or mistreatment, I cannot stand idly by while this promotion continues to be culturally insensitive. And while we're on the subject, we're probably misspelling the Electric Gigolo's name too, because the Turkish language has all sorts of strange characters. And by strange, I don't mean to imply they're somehow wrong, just different. Referee Hojak von Gunderschnitzelkrumm rings the bell and we are getting into some kinetic chess. It's Kimberly time everywhere but Linwood and the mean girl is driven into the ropes. Referee Hojak von Gunderschnitzelkrumm doing his best to separate him, but the mean girl gets in a cheap shot. And fun fact, Linwood is the one place in the world that doesn't recognize Kimberly time. It's something we can do without. Mean girl hitting that code breaker. Kimberly looking to go to work on the Shield Maiden's ankle. The mean girl is at a disadvantage with regards to size and strength, so it makes sense to target your opponent's weaknesses, and can she get the pin? Barely a 1 count, and that was a little too premature. But then again, Kimberly is dating Corey 312, so I would imagine she's used to things being a bit premature. Oh, sick burn. Mean girl going off the springboard and hitting that moonsault. Going for another early pin. 1. Barely a 1 count. Skadë is made of stronger stuff than that, and it is gonna take a lot more to crack her armor. Going for a little collar and elbow, and Skadë's got the reversal, and down she goes. Couldn't happen to a nicer person. But folks, I don't know about any of you, but I am super psyched that we are finally going to Colombia to do the Chico Hernandez Memorial Rumble. And my god, that'll look painful. To say nothing of the humiliation factor. Kimberly with a cartwheel and a back elbow that misses the mark. Nobody home. Those Valkyrie boots were made for kicking, and that's just what they'll do. I have never been to Colombia before, but those folks love them some Cockney pickpockets. While Miss Venice Beach is officially our biggest merch seller, unofficially it's the Cockney Pickpockets. Skadë with the running elbow missing the mark. It's a really unique situation with the Cockney Pickpockets. They are absolutely huge in Colombia, and especially the city of Medellin. The folks in Colombia are absolutely greedy for all the Cockney Pickpockets merch we can make. Kimberly with a bit of a rollover and a sunset flip powerbomb. No doubt Corey 312 is egging her on from ringside. Skadë firing back and looking to put the mean girl down. Sweet dropkick. That said, the Cockney Pickpockets may be big in Colombia, but they are only big in Colombia. If they showed up in Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, or Uruguay, they couldn't get arrested. Up and over she goes, and there's the reversal. There goes the whip into the ropes. Kimberly goes low, Kimberly goes high, and lays her out with a sweet step-up enziguri. The Shield Maiden's gone to the cardboard, and I can't help but wonder if the cardboard in Colombia is nicer than the crap we've got here. I guess I'll find out soon. Stiff shot to the face sends Kimberly down. Oh god, I know it's coming. Please don't do it, Skadë. Alright, I'll give you a pass this one time because you're hurting Kimberly, and that's something I want to encourage. The Shield Maiden back in the ring, and she is eagerly anticipating the mean girl's return. And that's probably about the only time anybody's eagerly anticipated anything to do with Kimberly Sullivan. Skadë going high. Down goes the Thez press and the mounted punches. Come on, Skadë, don't give up now. Kimberly Sullivan getting squashed beneath the heel of Skadë's boot. And ain't that a pretty sight? We are back on our feet. Little collar and elbow and Kimberly kicking out. And folks, I have a rather embarrassing confession to make. There might be like 3, 4, 5, 6, or maybe 7 or 8 Bon Jovi songs I kinda like, but no more than 9 or 10, maybe a dozen. And here's Kimberly Sullivan with the world's most obnoxious standing moonsault. That was a doozy right there, but can she get the pin? 1, 2, kick out after the 2, but let's take another look. As much as I hate to give Kimberly Sullivan credit for anything, I stand in awe of her magnificent gymnastic skills. She can also cut a decent promo sometimes, but you didn't hear me say that and I'll deny it in court. Whatever talent she might have, we can do without her bad attitude, so Corey, you are welcome to her. It's gonna take a bit more than that to wear down an opponent like the Shield Maiden. Let's see if Kimberly's got what it takes, and there goes the drive into the corner. Oh yeah, folks, I think an avalanche is on the way, but not before the mean girl preens a little for the hypothetical Kimberly fans in the audience. And to those Kimberly fans, I'd say that what you're doing with your life is wrong and you should stop. And here we go with the superplex off the top rope. As far as avalanches go, I ain't mad at that. And a delightful little backflip and a cartwheel to seal the deal. Yeah, we get it, Kimberly. Now you're just showing off. Skadë getting back to her feet and taking the mean girl down. We're seeing a bit of a spirited comeback. Shoulder charge into the turnbuckle. Skadë revving up for something big, and here it comes. Sweet cornered flying elbow rattling the mean girl. Skadë dragging Kimberly by the scruff of the neck and straight into the opposite corner. And good golly, Miss Molly, are we going to see another avalanche? First match in and we're getting 2 avalanches. And even better, this one's a stalling avalanche. And just look at that upper body strength and boom! Timber! And we are going to watch that again, because I said so. Now my definition of this term might vary from that of Ice Cube, but with 2 avalanches in the first match, I'd say today was a good day. The jury is still out as to whether or not I'm going to have to use my AK, but it's looking highly unlikely. But I can safely say nobody I know got killed in central LA, so today was a good day. As always, my main man, referee Hojak von Gunderschnitzelkrumm, is doing a wonderful job of keeping this match on the rails. The mean girl is starting to look a little rattled. We got the bounce off the ropes and the backflip Pele kick. Apparently she is not out of this just yet. Kimberly slipping the apron and going sky high. I think we're going to see it. No, we're not going to see it. That was a bit of a tease, but here comes a delightful handspring back elbow. Kimberly slipping the apron again, and are we going to see it this time, folks? I think we are. What bubble-oo bubble up bamboo? Can she get the pin? 1, 2. Kick out after the 2, but let's take another look. This 720 splash is always a crowd pleaser. And whatever else I may say about Kimberly, I gotta give this one an enthusiastic thumbs up. The mean girl seems to be turning the tide of this match, and we are back on the cardboard. This crowd is chanting fight forever, but if they did that, this would just be a big old spot fest. If there's no winner or loser, nobody's got any skin in the game. And if these 2 fought forever, there would be no time for the other matches. And I just think that's a really selfish thing for the crowd to ask. Haven't we already given you people enough? You just gotta take. Ooh, and the mean girl takes a nasty bump. That one's gonna give the old noggin a flogging. Skadë back in the ring and looking to go sky high. Down she goes with a sweet missile dropkick. Sometimes I wonder what it would be like to replace that cardboard with boiling hot magma. But there's probably a downside to that I'm not seeing. For one thing, how do we keep the magma boiling hot? The cost of doing that would be ruinous to this promotion, and we are not made of money. Tony Khan, on the other hand, is made of money, but since he's now got my beloved Motor City machine guns, I'd rather he not do it. I don't think I'd ever recover from seeing Alex Shelley or Chris Sabin boiled alive in hot magma. Chris Jericho, different story. He's already had his day and it would stop him from making any more Fozzy albums. Double spring missile dropkick from Kimberly Sullivan. Is that enough for the pin? 1, 2, 3. Kimberly Sullivan takes the win. Let's go see some highlights from Ernie the cameraman. Now folks, just to clarify, I am not saying that anybody should go out there and boil Chris Jericho alive in hot magma. If that was your takeaway and you're planning to boil Chris Jericho in hot magma, please don't. But back to the match at hand. As one of Kimberly Sullivan's fiercest critics, even I got to admit that this match was a bit of a return to form for the mean girl. She's at her best when she's flying high, and unless her opponent can ground her, she can be an absolute nightmare to deal with, both in and out of the ring. I still remember those dark days when she was our women's champion, and I'm kinda hoping history doesn't repeat itself. And would anybody care to tell me why this ass clown is in the ring? Kimberly did all the hard work, but once again, Corey 312 makes it all about Corey 312. I have seen enough of this turd weasel to last a lifetime, and I wish you'd just hurry up and start that wrestling promotion. But then again, I would imagine this is all part of Corey's plan. I'm sure he thinks if he's obnoxious and disruptive enough, our General Manager Todd Sorenson will cave in and give him what he wants to make him go away. Our newcomer, the Mumbai Mauler Ash Kali, is still looking to find his feet in this promotion. It was always going to be an odd fit for a deathmatch wrestler in this promotion, but tonight he is facing a wrestler whose career predates both deathmatches and stainless steel, the Detroit original, Yo-Yo Brown. Like I say, before every one of Yo-Yo Brown's matches, I really hope this doesn't cross the line into televised elder abuse. But I guess there's only one way to find out. So let's go ringside right now and find out. The following match is scheduled for 1 fall. Introducing first, from Mumbai, India, he is the Mumbai Mauler, Ash Kali. Maybe the third time around is a charm for the Mumbai Mauler. We shall have to see. He's still very much trying to get in where he fits in, and I gotta admit, a deathmatch wrestler is an odd fit for this promotion. But then again, could we really turn down India's answer to Nick Gage? I think not. Much like a great white shark, I've got a feeling this guy won't be in his element until he sniffs a little blood. With all the blood thinners we've been secretly slipping our wrestlers, hopefully tonight will be the night. But I do remember seeing one of Ash's matches back in India. It turned out his opponent had haemophilia. Who knew? But on the other hand, if he wasn't prepared to take a shot to the head with a chainsaw, he's got no business being in that ring. It was unpleasant for all concerned, but we can lay the blame on an irresponsible promoter. And his opponent, from Detroit, Michigan in the United States, he is the Detroit original, Yo-Yo Brown. You know, folks, one of these days I'm going to start an account on Social Sasquatch full of the things Yo-Yo Brown says. He's always had a rather tenuous grasp on reality, and lately he's been dropping some doozies. I remember the other day in the cafeteria, somebody offered him an omelette, but he said he didn't want it because, and I quote, eggs come from roosters' bums. Well, he didn't say it exactly like that because he is American, but you get the gist. And while there are many, many things wrong with that statement, it's just a drop in the big bucket of weird things that Yo-Yo Brown believes. We've already got a hemispherical Earth, the moon being built in 1928 by the Soviet Union, and claims of wrestling cryptozoological and mythical monsters. And let's not forget his claim of wrestling 500 days a year. Hulk Hogan may have wrestled 400 days a year, but he was just being lazy. Referee Chad Remington rings the bell. Both of these contenders are trying to get the crowd pumped, but maybe it's still a little early in the morning for them. They should try the new Las Gatas Calajeras energy drink we've got for sale at the concession stand. And we've got a little kinetic chest to kick things off. And as I was saying, our new Las Gatas Calajeras energy drink is infused with catnip and absolutely does not taste like cat food and 3-day-old salmon. So pick up a can at the concession stand today. Yumbo. Oh god, we're never gonna get rid of all these damn energy drinks. Yo-Yo Brown can still stick and move despite his very, very advanced age. Oh god, what does General Manager Todd Sorenson want this time? I already did the spot for that disgusting energy drink. Ash Carly taking the lead and taking the boots to Yo-Yo Brown. Stiff knee to the face. The Detroit original is looking a little shaky after that one. Ash going low and racking them up. 1. And there's a seesaw. 1. Another seesaw. 1. And another seesaw. 1. And the kick out. Yo-Yo Brown roaring back with a massive clothesline. Ash Carly getting bent backwards and there goes a stiff headbutt. Yo-Yo Brown taking a very relaxed attitude to the proceedings and now he is going topside. Ash with the run-up and Yo-Yo Brown's plans are thwarted. And folks, I gotta say, I kinda miss the old days when Todd would have one of his minions pass me a note on paper. I really do not enjoy having him blow up my messenger. Yo-Yo misses the falling punch and he looks like he's in quite a bit of pain. And here comes some more kinetic chests. There goes the drive into the corner. Referee Chad Remington getting in there to separate the two. And a sneaky shot from Ash Carly. He's looking to put in some work on Yo-Yo Brown. Up we go into the powerbomb position. And this can't be good. Into the fireman's carry and straight into the ropes. The Detroit original's got to be rethinking his decision to take this match. A little grounding and pounding. And can he get the pin? 1. Kick out after the 1. And another pin attempt. Oh, for God's sakes. Referee Chad Remington giving Ash Carly a telling off for putting his feet on the ropes. Yo-Yo Brown roaring back. And there goes a backbreaker. But don't believe the hype, folks. We may be living in the digital age, but that doesn't mean things are easier. That just means your boss has more high-tech ways of making your job miserable. Up and over the shoulders, and straight down into a burning hammer. The Mumbai Mauler with some choice words for Yo-Yo Brown. And a nasty headbutt to seal the deal. This one looks like it's going to the cardboard. And folks, I think we're gonna see it. Up into the torture rack. Boom! There goes the Mumbai neckbreaker. Let's take another look. Yo-Yo Brown claims to have had his spine replaced with heavy vulcanized rubber in the 1970s. Given the way he's being bent with that move, I certainly hope that's the case. To be honest, I've never heard of any doctor willing to replace somebody's spine with heavy vulcanized rubber. Is that even a thing? If there are any med students, let me know in the comments. You'd think if that was actually a thing, every wrestler would be doing it. Face first into the apron. But no joy with the rebound. This one's gonna have to go back in the ring soon, and what do we got here? Here's a tried and true classic from the Detroit original. Just a little something called the yo-yo drop. Simple and satisfying, let's see it again. Yo-Yo claims the reason he had his spine replaced with heavy vulcanized rubber was so he could hit those leg drops without injuring himself. And once again, I certainly hope that's the case. Because if we let a guy his age in the ring and he gets injured, that is going to be an absolute poo storm. The poo will absolutely hit the fan, and we will be in deep, deep poo, and we have first blood. Nasty bump against the ring post, but let's see if it brings out the monster and the Mumbai Mauler. Ash Carly running back to the ring and going up top. Oh, body splash misses the mark, nobody home. Yo-Yo looking to wrench his opponent's hand. He should have had his carpals replaced with heavy vulcanized rubber. 1, 2, kick out after the 2. And the whole thing makes me wonder, what else in my body could I replace with heavy vulcanized rubber? Another brutal headbutt. And a particularly nasty elbow drop. We're seeing those trickles of blood and the beast has awoken from his slumber. And if I was to replace my jaw with heavy vulcanized rubber, would I be able to open my jaw really wide like an anaconda? I could eat a lot more Sour Patch Kids at once that way. So when you think about it, it's efficient. And we are not seeing an avalanche, but we are seeing a Thez press with some mounted punches. Operation Ground and Pound is in full effect. Yo-Yo posting up off the middle rope. This match is still very much anyone's game, and there goes Yo-Yo Brown with a falling axe handle. And he looks like he's revving up for something big. And here it comes. What? Two. And three. That was the three homies. Can he get the pin? 1, 2. Kick out on the 2, but we gotta see that again. And oh yes, we are gonna watch all three homies. Yo-Yo Brown gives me $5 for every homie I get on a replay. So I've just scored myself enough money for 10 bottles of off-brand cola. And while the Detroit original claims that the late great Eddie Guerrero stole his 3 amigos from him, we find that claim, much like many of Yo-Yo Brown's claims, highly dubious. But one thing's for sure, these 3 homies have always got his back. This crowd is chanting, "We're not worthy," and you know what? I agree. There goes second blood, and Ash Khali is very much in his element. And here comes some shenanigans with the turnbuckle covers. As always, the incorruptible Chad Remington is on the... Good gravy! He just spat poison mist in Yo-Yo Brown's face. Play it back, Ernie. Between the poison mist, low blows, brass knuckles, and soul harvesting, we have been seeing a lot of monkey business lately. And I gotta say, some of it is pretty creative. Let's see how the Detroit original goes with a face full of poison mist. Straight into the turnbuckle, apparently. Things are looking bad for Yo-Yo Brown, and can he get the pin? 1, 2. Oh, nearly had him. The Mumbai Mauler is not happy with that call from referee Chad Remington. But you gotta hand it to Yo-Yo Brown. He's got a lot of grit to have lasted this long. Up and over the shoulder he goes. And there goes the snake eyes. Ash Khali going topside. Looking to take flight. And good golly, Miss Molly, look at the velocity on that elbow drop. He is determined to snatch victory from the claws of this stubborn old man. Yo-Yo hitting back with a jawbreaker. Detroit original slipping the back, but Ash has got the counter. Taken down with the real lariat. He's looking to bring this one home, and we are going to see another Mumbai neck breaker. Wop bubba loo bubba la bamboo. That is how it's done. Or at least how it's done in Mumbai. For all I know, they might do neck breakers completely different in New Delhi or Calcutta. Into the opposite corner goes Yo-Yo Brown, and Ash coming in with the crossbody. Looking to put the boot to the Detroit original, but Yo-Yo's got other ideas. And down he goes. Yo-Yo possibly looking for a camel clutch, but not before giving the old noggin a flogging. We're seeing a real never say die attitude from Yo-Yo Brown, and that may very well be why he is the oldest active wrestler in the world. And here comes another 3 homies. And once again, we're not exactly sure how old Yo-Yo Brown is. He's a little vague with the date of his birthday, and of course there's all the claims of cryogenic storage and traveling through wormholes. Is that gonna do for the pin? 1, 2. Oh, that was so close. And we are talking within the tiniest subatomic particle of closeness. The Detroit original might not be the only one with the never say die attitude. And here comes another yo-yo drop. Is that gonna do for the pin? 1, 2, kick out on the 2, and that was a small miracle. Ash Khali is showing a whole lot of grit. He's probably gonna need a lot of stitches after this, But that's just par for the course with a deathmatch wrestler like him. And the Detroit original is looking to stitch this one up himself, strutting around like a proud rooster and hoping an egg doesn't fall out of his bum. That was the Kali Cleaver elbow drop, and that's gotta be a wrap. 1, 2, 3. Ash Kali takes the win. Let's go see some highlights from Ernie the cameraman. I gotta say, that was a match that really went the distance. We're starting to see the Mumbai Mauler find his feet. I still want to see him in a proper deathmatch, because that's where he's gonna shine. But if you've been watching this show for any length of time, you'll know that our wrestlers are a contentious bunch. It doesn't take much to start a really brutal rivalry, so I have no doubt that somewhere down the line somebody will challenge him to that deathmatch. But for now, I'm starting to see why we brought this guy up from developmental in the first place. Well, I can't picture this guy selling a ton of merch. He's certainly got the ring skills and the ring psychology to go far. Congratulations to the Mumbai Mauler Ash Kali for this bloodthirsty victory. I gotta admit though, this guy still kinda gives me the willies and I'm afraid to make eye contact with him. But that said, in this business, willies are something we can make money off. Oh, that didn't come out right. It was one of those things that sounded a lot better in my head. At the risk of sounding biased, Athena Kanakarides and Persephone Kalishnikov of the Amazons are an absolute credit to this promotion. It's always a thrill to see them in action. But apparently now, we have a new mystery tag team in the women's division. Tonight, the mystery team will be making their debut against the Amazons. And I really, really hope this isn't just some elaborate wind-up that ends in a Minotaur and Cyclops match. We have been to that well way too many times already, and if that's what this is, I'm just going home. But before any of us go acting too prematurely, let's go ringside right now and see this mystery team for ourselves. The following tag match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Thessalonica, Greece, Athena Kanakarides and Persephone Kalishnikov are the Amazons. Well, alright, it's always a treat to see the Amazons in action. Besides being technically skilled wrestlers, both Athena Kanakarides and Persephone Kalishnikov are really lovely people, and they are the darlings of our women's tag division. We're still waiting to see who the mystery opponents are, but I have no doubt it's nothing these two can't handle. But don't quote me on that, because I have been wrong before. Well, okay, that's pretty cool, but I gotta say, all this fog is kind of freaking me out. And their opponents, representing Secta del Muerte and accompanied by the godmother La Madrina. From beyond the realms of death, Felicia and Left Eye are the Soulless Ones. Folks, I have no words to describe what we are seeing. I was wondering what the godmother was gonna do with those souls, but I suppose now we know. Harvesting other wrestlers' souls is one thing, but at the risk of sounding like a party pooper, we should probably make some rules about turning wrestlers into zombies. But because our General Manager Todd Sorenson is a spineless jellyfish, I'm sure he'll just tell the godmother don't make any more wrestlers into zombies, and that'll be that. One thing's for sure though, I have never seen Felicia and Left Eye looking so gaunt and pale. And that little property of La Madrina on the back of their shirts, well, that is very disturbing. Madrina is weaponizing these two zombified wrestlers and looking to take over the women's tag division. I really hope the Amazons are up to this challenge, because they are about to deal with opponents who can't feel pain or fatigue. At least that's the way I remember it from my brief time as a zombie. When I finally came to, I was working in the sweatshop where we make all of our There is no sweatshop in Linwood. I repeat, there is no sweatshop in Linwood. Why would you even bring that up? That's ridiculous. But nevertheless, we can only speculate as to what kind of supernatural abilities these two have inherited. But I, for one, would absolutely love it if we could go just 1 week without dark powers being invoked, hexes being cast, or wrestlers turned into zombies. But I suppose this is where we're at as a promotion. Referee Henrietta Sorenson rings the bell and Persephone is coming in swinging. Left Eye gives her the slip and goes for the roll-up. 1. And there's a seesaw. 1. Seesaw. 1. And the kick out. One really has to wonder, are Felicia and Left Eye lighter or heavier than they were before they got turned into zombies? I'm guessing lighter. Into the corner she goes, and we got the tag to Felicia. Left Eye working over Persephone like a heavy bag, and in comes Felicia with the big boots. Left Eye topping it off with a body splash. I'm really hoping we don't see any brains getting eaten during this match, but unfortunately I can't really promise that. Up and over goes Persephone. Felicia going over the ropes and clocking her with a DDT against the apron. This Linwood crowd did not come here tonight prepared for zombies, and they are finding this a little unsettling, as am I. But then again, I've seen about 12 seasons of The Walking Dead, so I'm pretty sure I can handle myself. Referee Henrietta Sorenson pulling the two apart. Persephone eating a devastating backbreaker. And while I'm on the subject, the reason we don't have any paramedics standing ringside, according to General Manager Todd Sorenson, is, and I quote, John the commentator has seen all 8 seasons of House MD like 5 or 6 times, so apparently that's good enough. Devastating tag attack, and let's see that again. We got one hell of a 1-2 punch here. Starting off with the devastating backbreaker, and along comes an equally devastating falling knee. Felicia coming in with the falling elbow. Is that gonna do for the pin? 1. Kick out on the 1. Given that Felicia and Left Eye are both singles wrestlers, it'll be really interesting to see how they go as a team. So far so good, but I'm really hoping the Amazons have it in them to make a comeback. Into the corner she goes, but the tag is denied. The Godmother is watching the proceedings with a cold calculating eye. Corner dropkick from Persephone puts Felicia down, and we got the tag to Athena. The Greek goddess is not leaving anything to chance. Felicia catches the kick and counters with a move of her own. And now she's the one throwing the strikes. But just completely apropos of nothing, if you really must have zombies, how hard would it be to slip a little vitamin D into whatever mush you're feeding them? To say that Felicia and Left Eye look deathly pale would be a gross understatement, and we got the tag to Persephone. Double whip into the ropes. Nothing fancy here, just the up and over like a 4-leaf clover. Felicia coming back with a sweep. It's gonna take a lot to break through the fiendish resistance of the soulless ones. Felicia going topside. Walking that tightrope and coming down with a massive flying elbow. There's the tag to Left Eye. Persephone has taken a lot of punishment, and this ghoulish duo are gonna look to isolate her. 1. Break up from Athena. And I'm not even gonna ask how that sledgehammer got in the ring. As far as strange goings on in this match, that one barely rates. Left Eye slipping the apron and going for the leg drop off the slingshot, but nobody home. And folks, if somebody you know has been turned into a zombie, you can call this toll-free helpline. It's got all the advice and support you'll need to take care of your new undead minion. Left Eye taking full advantage of her downed foe. Persephone rolling to safety, and there's the tag. The worst thing either one of the Amazons can do is get isolated, so they need to keep that tagline open. Athena Kanakarides looking to make a dent in Left Eye's supernatural armor. Good gravy, look at that backhand. 1, 2, Whoa, kick out just after the 2, but let's see that again. And this backhand right here, that is some supernatural strength. Just look at the distance. Referee Henrietta Sorenson cannot be comfortable being this up close and personal with the Walking Dead. Left eye going for it, and boom! That was chasing waterfalls. Can she get the pin? Breakout by Persephone, but let's see that again. Just another timely reminder, where one needed, that Athena Kanakarides should stick to the rivers and the lakes that she is used to. I gotta say, this is not looking good for the Amazons. And one has to wonder, is the condition of the Soulless Ones in any way reversible? Athena rolling out of the ring, and this one is going to the cardboard. Madrina looking on, delighted with the deeds of her minions. That was a punishing elbow drop from the top rope, and that one's gotta hurt. And just now, I realize how redundant that expression is. Say what you will about wrestling, which is totally real by the way, but you cannot fake gravity. So of course something like that is gonna hurt. It's not gonna tickle. And speaking of tickles, if you haven't already, why not give that subscribe button a bit of a tickle? Can she get the pin? 1! Kick out on the 1. And if you're feeling frisky, then why not give that like button a bit of a tickle while you're at it? Once again, not telling you what to do, just throwing it out there. Round and round we go. And pop goes the weasel, or in this case, the bulldog. There goes the tag to Felicia. This undead kitty cat's going for a basement dropkick, but nobody home, and we got the tag to Persephone. Round and round she goes. All of a sudden, this undead kitty cat has become really animated. Going off the springboard with the 619 feint, but Persephone's got her number. You probably didn't see that last move because Ernie's camera sucks, but take it from me, it was pretty cool. Persephone Kalishnikov looking to isolate the leg. Going for the falling axe handle, but nobody home. There goes the whip and straight into the corner. And we got a tag. Up she goes. We got the 1-2 punch of the buckle bomb and the step up enziguri. Let's see that again. While a buckle bomb is bad news for anybody, getting a kick to the back of the head when you hit the buckle, that doesn't even bear thinking about. But I gotta say, this is some pretty solid teamwork from the Soulless Ones. Persephone rolling out of the ring, and we are back on the cardboard. Left eye coming in with the basement shotgun kick. I hate to say it, but this looks like bad news bears for Persephone. And there goes first blood. That's never a good sign for any wrestler. Persephone coming in with a running knee. She is not out of the game just yet. We got a bit of a scuffle on the outside between Athena and Left Eye, and my god, did Persephone lose a tooth? If anybody in the crowd finds Persephone's tooth, please return it to the lost and found. I'm pretty sure we got enough super glue to put that thing back in, but don't quote me on that. Left Eye hitting that drive-by knee strike. Persephone desperately needs to make that tag. There goes another whip and back into the corner. Left Eye is hungry for brains, one would assume, and we got the tag to Felicia. Up into the wheelbarrow, boom goes the DDT, and the wheelbarrow suplex. I have no idea what they call that move, but can she get the pin? Pin gets broken up, but let's see that again. Whatever this move is called, it's a hell of a 1-2 combination. After sticking the DDT, Left Eye pushes off with her legs to give the suplex a little more momentum. The Godmother is watching on with pure delight, but there is nothing delightful about that move for Persephone. Felicia going over the ropes onto the apron. Off the slingshot, and we got the shooting star press. Is that going to be enough for the pin? 1, 2, kick out on the 2. Zombification has done nothing to diminish Felicia's high-flying skills. If the Soulless Ones can keep Athena out of the mix, there's a good chance they could take the win. Brutal backbreaker putting Persephone down. Referee Henrietta Sorenson getting into an argument with Felicia, and we got the tag to Athena. Round and round she goes. And pop goes the Bulldog. And now that I said that out loud, I realize how ridiculous it sounds. Sweep of the leg and straight into the mat. It's gonna take something major for the Amazons to come back. So let's see if Athena's got what it takes. Into the corner she goes, and there's a tag to Left Eye. Whatever this move was called, we're about to see another one. This time Athena gets the 1-2 punch, and I got a bad feeling about this. Left Eye going in for the pin. 1, 2, Persephone coming to the rescue with the breakup. Left Eye slipping the ropes and going to the apron. Leg drop off the slingshot. This was not the way the Greek goddess saw this match going, and there's a tag to Felicia. The soulless ones will be looking to stitch this thing up. And here comes the triple swipe salvo. I am not on any dating apps, so I have no idea what it means to swipe left and right. Moonsault into a DDT, and can she get the pin? 1, 2, 3. The soulless ones take the victory. Let's go see some highlights from Ernie the cameraman. Okay, first things first. I gotta say that I am not liking the precedent this thing sets. I never thought I'd see wrestlers turned into zombies and weaponized against the women's tag division, but here we are. I really hope Left Eye and Felicia's condition is reversible. If it's not, that's very bad news for all the other teams in the women's tag division. If I were Mercedes and Veronica from Las Cicadias, I'd be shaking in my boots right now. My only hope is the members of the Coven have some kind of sorcery to counter what we're seeing now. My school guidance counselor told me to never put my trust in witches, but I'm afraid I may have no choice. Folks, I am at a loss. I have no idea what to say here. Should I really be in the position of congratulating a pair of literal zombies? I can say in all honesty that I did not have this on my bingo card today when I woke up this morning. As we saw earlier tonight, the electric gigolo Mustafa Korkmaz was the victim of a cowardly ambush in the car park. He was originally scheduled to be the opponent for the Gallo Glass Hamish Gunn's return match, but alas, we have to roll with the punches, lest we get rolled over. But fortunately for us, another one of the best wrestlers in our men's division, the proletariat hero Yuri Kalishnikov, was willing and able to step up. This one's got all the makings of a classic match, and I can't wait to see it. So let's go ringside right now. The following match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Wick, Scotland, he is the Gallo Glass, Hamish Gunn. I can't tell you how great it is to see our former champ back in action. This might not have been the match we originally scheduled, but this is Linwood and we've been rolling with the punches since punching was invented. I like to think that before punching was invented, people solved their disputes with childish name-calling and rap battles. Nevertheless, up until now, we have never seen the Gallo Glass and the proletariat hero facing each other in the ring, and that feels like a missed opportunity that we are about to rectify. We got two of the absolute best in our men's division about to throw down, and this is going to be one hell of a match. And his opponent, from Pokrovskoye, Siberia in Russia, he is the proletariat hero, Yuri Kalishnikov. I'm going to address the elephant in the room, folks. This promotion has done Yuri Kalishnikov dirty so many times. That said, Yuri Kalishnikov is nothing if not a professional, and he jumped at the chance to sub in after that cowardly attack on the electric gigolo. I'd like to think if it wasn't for him, the Professor Jerome Scott, and of course the Gallo Glass Hamish Gunn, we wouldn't even have a men's division. I'm sure by now you've seen a lot of the garbage we have to put up with in both the men's singles and tag division. but those three in particular lend the men's division some much needed credibility. This match almost feels like it should have been a main event, but unfortunately it's not, because we'll be seeing the Cockney Pickpockets right after this match. But until then, I'm just gonna kick back, grab a bottle of off-brand cola and enjoy some honest-to-God wrestling the way it was supposed to be. You've wisely decided to click on this video, so I suggest you do the same. Referee Jeremiah Jones rings the bell, and it looks like we're going to start off with some good old-fashioned kinetic chess. Between Kalishnikov's combat sambo training and the Gallo Glass's experience with Scottish backhold wrestling, this game of kinetic chess promises to be an absolute masterclass. So I suggest the rest of you scrubs in the men's division pay close attention. And that goes double for all you scrub-a-dub-dubs and developmental. But speaking of developmental, we have got a very exciting new prospect for the women's division next week. That's about all I can tell you at this stage, so you're just going to have to stay tuned. Round and round we go, and both of these wrestlers are giving as good as they're getting. Thankfully, we've got the legendary referee Jeremiah Jones keeping things on the rails. There goes the snapmare from the Gallo Glass, and we got a sleeper hold. Forceful blow to the collarbone. And if you happen to be watching this individual match on the day it came out, then happy birthday to me. You can give me a sweet birthday present by liking this video and subscribing to Linwood Wrestling Legends. And just to make this match further about me, I happen to share a birthday with Alfred Hitchcock, which is pretty cool, and Fidel Castro, which is a lot less cool, and Danny Bonaducci, which is neither here nor there. Hamish Gunn taking the initiative and going for the gut-wrench powerbomb. He wants to let this Linwood crowd know that he is back in a big way. That said, he's in for a tougher time than if he had faced Mustafa Korkmaz. And there goes the drive into the corner, and are we going to see an avalanche? If Hamish Gunn was looking to make a statement, this right here is a pretty big one. Ay caramba! Avalanche fall-away slam, we got to see that again. A standard fall-away slam is cool enough, but making it into an avalanche just kicks it up another notch. A delightful little nod to the late great Scott Hall. Going in for a good old-fashioned ground and pound. This crowd is chanting, "This is awesome," and for whatever strange reason, this Linwood crowd is using an American accent, and I kinda wish they wouldn't, because it sounds very forced and hokey. As far as I'm concerned, the New Zealand accent is a thing of beauty, and we should all revel in its majesty. Yuri Kalishnikov with the flying shoulder tackle. Lining them up for the knee drop, but nobody home. And if there are any non-New Zealanders out there who think they can do a better New Zealand accent than me, I welcome them to try. I've been talking with this accent my entire life. That was a sweet flip over the ropes from the Gallo Glass, but unfortunately nobody home. So yeah, my entire life, minus the 6 weeks I spent talking like a hillbilly in the early 2000s. Oh golly, I don't know about you, but them daggum wrestlers is kind of funny looking. And so on and so forth. But fellas, I'm sure I don't need to tell either of you, please stay away from my desk. And that was a sweet brain buster. Maybe even sweeter than them French fry potatoes. We have for sale at the concession stand. We are back in the ring and this match is back on the rails. We're seeing dodges and counters left, right, and center. Up into the powerbomb he goes. Into the fireman's carry and straight into the ropes. Can he get the pin? 1, 2. Kick out just after the 2. And speaking of the concession stand, we have a special deal at the moment. If you buy our new Las Gatas Calajeras catnip-infused energy drink, you can get 2 for the price of 3. Shop around, you can't beat that price. But seriously, please buy some. What the hell were we thinking buying 3 pallets of them? We are really taking a financial bath. Sweet dropkick laying out the Gallo Glass. Kalishnikov is getting revved up. The proletariat hero is looking to go to work. All of a sudden, the Gallo Glass has got some stiff opposition. running the ropes like an absolute pro, and there goes the Moscow Torpedo. You sunk my battleship. Let's see that again. You wouldn't think a move like this would be as devastating as it is, but that's the magic of pro wrestling. Don't ask no questions. Can he get the pin? 1, 2, kick out on the 2. With the possible exception of a Scottish mule, there is nothing on this earth more stubborn than a Scottish wrestler. Kalishnikov has got a long road to hoe if he wants to bring in the victory. Hamish Gunn firing back and waking from his slumber. Nice flying tackle. I gotta say, it is a breath of fresh air to see a good clean wrestling match with no shenanigans. And here we go with what promises to be a hard-fought slobber knocker. You can draw a lot of parallels between wrestlers trading chops and people taking turns to kick each other in the shins, which I've heard is actually a thing. I'm surprised we don't see more wrestlers trading kicks to the shins, but I'm sure we will someday. In the meantime, the swelling over Kalishnikov's eyes is going to be cause for concern. If this was a quote-unquote real fight, the doctor would have thrown in the towel a long time ago. But those people are just big old crybabies. Professional wrestlers are made of much stronger stuff than that. And there's another drive into the corner. And folks, I think we're about to see it. Ring-a-ding-ding! That was the caber toss. One of the Gallo Glass's deadliest moves. Roll it back, Ernie. Bear in mind that the Gallo Glass is used to doing this with a literal caber, which is a lot heavier than Yuri Kalishnikov. So you can just imagine the amount of force behind that caber toss. Miraculously, the proletariat hero is still standing and we got another slobber knocker. It's rare to see two of these in a single match, but this just goes to show the grit and resolve of both of these wrestlers. Whichever way this shakes out, I'm seeing a lot of ice packs being needed after this match, so I hope somebody remembered to fill up the ice cube trays in the fridge. Wait a minute, wasn't it my turn this week? Oh crap. I think I may have used the last of those ice cubes for my off-brand cola, so good gravy, look at that! A ripcord Russian leg sweep. We don't see that every day, so let's see it again. Just look at the torque on this bad boy. If I owned a lawnmower, I'd be calling up the proletariat hero every time I needed to start it up. We're seeing a whole lot of bruises and welts on the back of Kalishnikov. And once again, I apologize for using all the ice cubes. I think we might have some frozen peas somewhere in the freezer, but don't any of you even think about touching that bag of seasoned curly fries I've got back there. If those things go walkabout, I'm gonna have to eat the slop we serve at the concession stand. If you're feeling peckish, why not try some of our spicy nachos on sale at the concession stand? Yumbo. Good gravy, that one really rocked him. I got dizzy just looking at that. Gallo Glass posting up on the middle rope. Kalishnikov slowly getting to his feet, and this match has taken its toll. Gallo Glass hidden with the crossbody. But if you do happen to find any dirty band-aids or dog hair in our spicy nachos, how do you know that's not how they make it traditionally in Mexico? Proletariat Hero coming in with the counter and a sweet shotgun dropkick. Both of these competitors are being pushed to their absolute limits. I knew this was going to be a ripper of a match, and I am not disappointed. When your foe is down, don't make a sound, just go for that sweet ground and pound. And that little stanza right there is literally better than anything I've heard in modern rap music. I'm telling you folks, it's all about that early to mid-90s West Coast G-Funk. The avalanche attempt is denied. Up goes Kalishnikov. We got a bit of a walk. Boom! Into a sit-out powerbomb. One! Kick out on the one. The proletariat hero has taken a level of punishment I can only describe as Mick Foley-esque. And oh yes, I will defend Mick Foley barking like a dog on AEW. Besides the fact he's Mick Foley and he can do whatever the hell he likes, as far as embarrassing things go, that one barely moves the needle. I say and do much more embarrassing things than that on a daily basis. I'm sure I've already said at least a dozen more embarrassing things just in this episode, and I'll probably say a dozen more. Some people really need to pull the stick out of there. Are you feeling peckish? Why not pick up a tasty snack from our concession stand? Whew, nice save there. This Linwood crowd seems split right down the middle about who they want to win. And quite frankly, this match could go either way. We are taking a merry old journey back to the cardboard. Up and over the shoulder he goes, and face first into the cardboard. And folks, while we can all agree that the misuse of the word literally is a bad thing, I would like to call attention to the overuse and unnecessary use of the word literally. I have heard way too many people use that word as a filler word or for unnecessary emphasis. So if that literally sounds like you should literally be ashamed of yourself. You see how annoying that can get? You see how completely redundant that is? How about you get a damn thesaurus and expand your vocabulary a little? I'm not asking for too much perspicacity in your colloquial vernacular, but for God's sakes, maybe sound like you got more than 2 brain cells rattling around in there. Gallo glass laid out with a dropkick. When all else fails, why not bang your opponent's head straight into the mat? That's what my mum always said, and she's usually right about these things. That said, it's because of my mum that I never learned to read. My parents were druids, and mum always taught me that written words contain evil magic. And if I think about my contract with this promotion, there may be something to that. And folks, we are gonna see it. Shazam! That was the Bannockburn driver. 1, 2, 3. Oh, nearly had him. We gotta take another look at that one. According to Hamish Gunn, the Scots used this move, the Bannockburn driver, to hand the English their most humiliating defeat at the Battle of Bannockburn. I had previously thought that was down to the Scots using the sheltering formation for offense as well as defense, but apparently I was wrong. See kids, learning new things is fun. There goes the whip into the corner. Whole lot of velocity with that whip and he bounced straight off. Kalishnikov going to work and looking to crank the Gallo Glass's neck. I gotta say, this match has really gone the distance. And speaking of distance, the UK and Ireland are the antipodes of New Zealand. But I just want to take the time to thank all you wonderful people watching in Ireland. Apparently there's quite a few of you. Rest assured, good people of Ireland, Linwood Wrestling Legends has got something special for you next week. Until then, you're just going to have to sit through the same crap as everybody else. And while I'm on the subject of Ireland, I'd just like to declare my undying love for Thin Lizzy, Father Ted, and Potato McWhiskey. And of course, Andrea Kaur, who I always assumed I'd be married to by now. But as Yuri Kalishnikov just found out, life is full of cruel disappointments. And just completely apropos of nothing, has anybody found Persephone Kalazakis' missing tooth yet? Shotgun dropkick doesn't quite hit the mark and we are seeing stars again. I wish I could say one of those stars was New Zealand national treasure Carl Urban sitting ringside, but he hasn't replied to a single one of my emails. And there you go, Ireland. There's a move straight out of Sheamus's playbook. 10 beats of the Bowron. I hope I pronounced that right. I think we're about to see something really cool, and here it comes. Shut the front door! We got a rolling Piper's Pit. Let's take another look. Nice little tribute to the greatest Canadian to ever play a Scotsman, Rowdy Roddy Piper. And yes, I am aware of Mike Myers. But what's Mike Myers done for me lately? How does his career benefit me, John the commentator? I don't say this often, but I am starting to get concerned about the well-being of one of our wrestlers. If this match goes on much longer, the damage to the proletariat hero may be catastrophic. Even if he can pull off the win tonight, it's still going to be kind of a Pyrrhic victory. He looks like he's revving up for something, and here it comes. There's the Sambo throw, and straight into the armbar, but we got a rope break. It was a bold move, but unfortunately, it was a wrong move. And apropos of nothing, when was the last time you heard a wrestling commentator use the expression Pyrrhic victory? That's why I'm your favorite. Here at Linwood Wrestling Legends, we might serve up a lot of hot garbage, but the one thing we will never do is insult your intelligence. Kalishnikov looking to make another attempt. There's the Sambo throw, and again with the armbar. and another rope breaker. You kidding me? If Kalishnikov wants to try that move again, it would behoove him to move his opponent to the center of the ring. But we've got the drive into the corner, and up we go. Avalanche attempt is denied. And folks, I think this Bannockburn driver is going to be the one to seal the deal. 1, 2, 3. Hamish Gunn takes the win. Let's go see some highlights from Ernie the cameraman. I'm just going to come out and say this with no hyperbole on my part whatsoever. That match was the best match that I've seen from the men's division since we got out of cryogenic storage. It gives me the tiniest flicker of hope that maybe our men's division isn't beyond salvaging. I know I brought this up before, but there are many parallels between this match and the match between Lennox Lewis and Vitaly Klitschko. In this case, the proletariat hero is Klitschko. No matter how badly he got injured, and believe me, he got injured, he just kept coming with everything he had. Even if you manage to prevail, that right there is the absolute last opponent you ever want to face. Congratulations to the Gallo Glass Hamish Gunn for his victory in his first match back. He came in tonight looking to make a statement, and that victory right there is one hell of a statement. With any luck, he may very well be the one to take back that ill-gotten championship out of the hands of Linwood Knight and Broforce 1. It's early days, but here's hoping. Oh God, what did I ever do to deserve... Oh yeah. But what have I done lately to Oh, now I remember. Nevertheless, I stand by my indignation at having to deal with this. Oh God. You, sir, are a vulgar man, and I use the terms sir and man loosely. And if that's what you think, you really don't know Kimberly. I wish I didn't know Kimberly, but I don't get to pick and choose. I cannot wait to see Corey 312's Slam Jam fall on its ass. What could you possibly have that the Godmother would want? And as anybody who owns a septic tank will tell you, it's not just the cream that floats to the top. And what the hell is a Corey Dome? Actually, scratch that, I really don't want to know. And we are right back in the gutter where we started. Who saw that coming? Who saw where that came from? Oh, you gon' get it now, Corey 312. Oh yeah, give it to him with both barrels, Madrina. That is a very apt description. And a very cutting and insightful barb there, if I may say so myself. Perhaps even worthy of John the commentator. Check out the sense of entitlement on this guy. This guy sounds like a petulant child. No wonder he makes money scamming children. And I hate to tell you, Corey, but that's not quite the juicy bribe you may think it is. Ah, Madrina. If only I could share your amusement over his pathetic insolence. But alas. And I gotta say, it's been way too long since I've heard anybody use the expression strumpet. I guarantee Corey doesn't know what that word means. And folks, we have a match. If we're having matches to determine ownership of wrestlers, that is starting to feel a little too much like trafficking for my liking. But hell, we've come this far, so we might as well let it ride. Time for the main event. With the defeats of Urban Legion and the Kalishnikov brothers under their belts, the Cockney Pickpockets, Gazza, Jonesy and Big Wally are once again defending their titles. This time around, it's against the boys from Sector del Muerte, Elio and Serafine from Los Satanicos. If Elio and Serafine can pull off a win tonight, that'll make the second time that Los Satanicos has held the Men's Tag Team Championship. But first, they have to take it from the Cockney Pickpockets, who by all accounts are in no hurry to drop it. This is what the evening's been building to, so let's do this, Linwood. The following LWL Men's Tag Team Championship match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, the challengers. Representing Sector del Muerte. From Matamoros, Mexico, Elio and Serafin are Los Satanicos. To be honest, I kind of forgot these guys existed, but here they are. Their matriarch, Madrina, has been getting a lot more attention these days, and now she's got a whole new tag team with Left Eye and Felicia. So you could say that Los Satanicos are the red-headed stepchildren of Sector del Muerte. Nevertheless, they've made it all the way to this title shot, and who knows? They held the championships for quite a while last year, so if all goes according to plan, maybe we'll see a second title reign. It's not so much that I want these guys to win, it's that I don't want the Cockney Pickpockets to, if that makes any sense. And their opponents and current LWL Men's Tag Team Champions. From London, England, Gazza, Jonesy and Big Wally are the Cockney Pickpockets. I might have forgotten Los Satanicos existed, but unfortunately there is no forgetting these three crumbums. Here at this promotion, our champions have the unofficial privilege of asking for things. As it stands, we are spending an eye-watering amount of money on cider and Turkish delight, all thanks to these three chuckleheads. I'm not foolish enough to promise you a good clean match, because the one thing we can expect from the Cockney Pickpockets is some sort of chaos or pandemonium. That's how they won the titles in the first place, and I'd imagine that's how they intend to keep them. If the Pickpockets had to rely on their wrestling abilities to carry the day, they would be absolutely screwed. It still blows my mind that they were able to beat both Urban Legion and the Kalishnikov brothers, but as we all saw, there was a lot of shady doings in those matches. But credit where credit's due, folks. Jonesy has actually been doing a semi-competent job as a manager. But between the Cockney Pickpockets and Las Cicadias in the women's division, he's starting to get a little high on his own supply. But nevertheless, I approve. For one thing, it keeps him from attempting to wrestle. Referee Henrietta Sorenson will be calling this match tonight. We all know who her uncle is and how she got the gig, but there's not much we can do about it now. Once again, I'm not saying nepotism, but nepotism. I'd be lying if I said this was a main event I was looking forward to, but I'm willing to be pleasantly surprised. Or even unpleasantly surprised. Wouldn't be the first time that's happened with a main event. Just give me something I can work with, fellas. Then again, I get paid very badly no matter who wins or loses. So just have fun out there, guys. It's a bit of a hard road for a color commentator when you don't particularly like any of the wrestlers in a match. I mean, seriously, who am I supposed to root for here? We got two wrestlers from an evil cult versus those three derelicts. And in the words of Zoolander, they can all derelict my I'm sorry, folks, I apologize for my potty mouth. And I am being fined for my potty mouth. That train's never late. Referee Henrietta Sorenson rings the bell and Gazza is clobbering in with the good old ground and pound. Little cheeky assistance from Elio on the outside. There goes the whip into the corner. Tag attempt, but the tag is denied. Gazza wants this Linwood crowd to know he can derelict his own. And folks, I never had any doubt about that. And I am being fined again for my use of the word. But seriously, Todd, how would this work if we had a wrestler like the late Mahoney? Or Speed Mike Bailey? And you know what? I'm just gonna stop now before I dig myself any deeper. Seraphine off the top rope with a sweet body splash. These two are giving as good as they're getting, but Seraphine is slowly taking the lead. There goes the drive into the corner. Seraphine looking for some sweet high-flying goodness. And there we go, off the trapeze with a Hurricane Rana. Nobody does the high-flying better than the luchadors, with the possible exception of the late great Sabu. Round and round we go and up and over the ropes. Gazza taking his sweet time, but there goes a stiff crack to the head. And what do we got here? Ow! Suplex against the apron. We really should file off those sharp corners on the apron, but then again, it's not really my problem. Gazza looking to get in the cheap shots where and when he can. Seraphine looking to play a little possum, or whatever equivalent possum-like rodents they have in Mexico. There goes the whip and straight into the steel stairs. And here's a message from Ernie the cameraman. The Mexican Virginia opossum, or Didelphis virginiana californica, is a subspecies of North American opossum found throughout most of Mexico. We have first blood, and thank you Ernie the cameraman for that completely pointless fact you just looked up on Wikipedia. Can he get the pin? Well, he could have if referee Henrietta Sorensen wasn't replacing a missing turnbuckle. I wonder who did that. And folks, I wish our referees could stop going translucent. We've given verbal warnings and had meetings, but I'm afraid it's a battle we're just not gonna win. There goes the whip into the ropes. Over he goes. Delightful little cartwheel straight into a shotgun dropkick. And folks, I gotta say, after watching quite a bit of AAA and being gaslit possibly, I have come around on Mr. Iguana. Say what you will about his gimmick, but that dude's got some moves. And there goes the whip into the corner. Going for the tag, but the tag is denied. Drive into the opposite corner and let's see if this one pays off. There goes the tag to Elio. Seraphine scaling the ropes. And we got an avalanche Hurricane Rana straight into a powerbomb. Now that was teamwork. Let's see that again. Seraphine and his brother Elio are very different wrestlers, but this is a 1-2 punch that plays to both of their strengths. I give this one my personal thumbs up. Elio getting a little distracted by Jonesy on the outside, and I'm really not liking how that pool cue is just sitting there. I think I can just make out the words, "Your mother can kiss me bum," but that's a given with the Cockney Pickpockets. Gazza taking full advantage of the distraction, gets the butterfly wings and hooks the suplex. Marginally competent wrestling we're seeing from Gazza tonight. Operation Ground and Pound is in full effect. And to all of our wrestlers in developmental, just remember that if a wrestler like Gazza can pass, so can you. As they say in academia, C's make degrees. And we got a lovely reversal from Elio. Elio looking to turn the tables on his opponent. Up and over we go into a beautiful suplex. And you know folks, one of these days we're going to peel back the curtain and show you our developmental program. But alas, today is not that day. The one thing we will not show you, unlike WWE Unreal, is our wrestlers hugging and kissing. For one thing, most of them hate each other's guts. Into the corner he goes, but the tag is denied. But in all seriousness, you wouldn't believe how many times we've had security pull two wrestlers apart, in the locker room or in the cafeteria, sometimes even in the toilet cubicles. Elio clenching tight with that gorilla grip, and there goes a stiff shot to the breadbasket. If Los Satanicos can keep Big Wally out of this, they might just pick up the win tonight. And can he get the pin? 1, 2, kick out after the 2. That was maybe a little ambitious on Elio's part. And you may be wondering, why would two wrestlers throw down in a toilet cubicle? To be honest, we've heard some pretty creative explanations. Nothing fancy here, just a whip into the rope and a shoulder charge in stereo. There goes the tag to Big Wally, and this match just got real. The only chance Seraphine has is staying on the outside and picking at Big Wally's defenses little by little, and it looks like that's his strategy. It works for a lot of bosses in video games, so it's gotta work here, right? And once again, I find myself wondering, why hasn't referee Henrietta Sorensen picked up that pool cue? That right there is the kind of crap I'd expect from referee Tom Herb. There's the whip into the ropes, and Big Wally with a big body block. Can he get the pin? 1, 2, Kick out after the 2. Going for another pin attempt. And this is classic Pickpockets right here. Big Wally putting his feet on the ropes. Thankfully, referee Henrietta Sorenson didn't see that, so he avoids a telling off. Seraphine getting the reversal. Here comes some more delightful trapeze action. Hurricane Rana. As I said before, I've got no idea who to root for, and I'm pretty sure neither does this Linwood crowd. Big Wally coming in with a pop-up Samoan drop. That move seems to be a favorite with the really big wrestlers like him and the Violator. It's one of those few moves he's marginally good at. Big Wally takes the initiative, and there goes the whip into the corner. There goes the tag, and let's see what the Pickpockets have got for us. Gazza off the middle ropes with a falling axe handle to the arm. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but here comes Gazza laying down some Queensberry rules. And down he goes, dragging Seraphine's lifeless body away from the ropes. And can he get the pin? 1, 2. Pin gets broken up by Elio, but let's take another look. Gazza learnt to box as a teenager in a youth detention center, and this combo has served him well over the years. And folks, I apologize for any weird janky bits in the video, but once again, you can blame Ernie the cameraman. Seraphine hitting back with the back elbow. Gazza going in for a scoop. Boom, and down goes the sidewalk slam. But you know who did a really good sidewalk slam? The Big Boss Man. If you haven't seen the episode of Dark Side of the Ring about him, I highly recommend it. Up and over the shoulder goes Elio and straight down into a wasteland slam. Gazza targeting Seraphine and looking to stick that fisherman's hook. Elio breaks it up and comes in from the back. Down he goes. Elio looking like he's got something big in mind. Grabbing the arm and going for the arm wringer. Back into a half Nelson. Gazza punching out. Stiff shot to the breadbasket. Here comes another brutal ground and pound. We've already seen first blood, and I've got a feeling we're going to see more by the time this match is done. Into the corner he goes. Tag is denied. Gazza shooting low and racking him up. 1. There's the seesaw. 1, 2, and the kick out. Elio looking for a little payback. Gets the gut wrench. Up and over he goes into a gut wrench suplex. Looking to go for another drive, but Gazza's got other ideas. Gazza looking to lay down some more Queensberry rules, but Elio's got his number. Into the corner he goes. And a little cheeky face scrape from Seraphine. Gazza going for another waist scoop and another sidewalk slam. That's a move he's surprisingly competent at. Knocking Elio down with the big boot. There's the tag to Big Wally. Elio's starting to look a little rattled, and maybe he should make the tag to Seraphine. Into the corner he goes. Tag is denied. Swing and a miss from Elio. Up and over the ropes he goes, and there's Gazza with a little cheeky assistance. Once again, this is classic Pickpockets that we are seeing right here. Apparently, we also have some oh my god, power bombs straight into the barricade. Now Jonesy wants to get a few shots in. We are seeing some real pandemonium here, and this is classic Pickpockets. Gazza sticking the fisherman's suplex. I got no idea what's going on in the ring between Big Wally and Seraphine, but this match is descending into anarchy and we need to get it back on the rails, ASAP. But on the plus side, I just found a bottle of off-brand cola under this desk that I totally forgot about. It might be warm and flat, but I just saved myself $1.30. Elio getting back in... Good gravy! Referee Henrietta Sorenson takes a little bit of collateral damage. She looks like she's okay, and she took that bump like an absolute pro. But don't tell her I said that, because it'll just go to her head, and she'll get ideas about wanting to be a wrestler. And that's the absolute last thing we need. A wrestler whose uncle happens to be the general manager. There's enough nepotism in wrestling as it is, and we don't need any part of that. Round and round we go with a little ballet, and Elio goes into the corner, but he is not staying there. Big Wally coming in with a stiff headbutt, and we got second blood. Elio looking to make that hot tag, and there it goes. We're starting to see a bit of wear and tear at this stage of the game, but Seraphine is not taking any of Gaz's crap. Here comes some more shenanigans with the turnbuckle covers. The Cockney Pickpockets aren't the only ones who know how to fight dirty. Gazza getting back up to his feet. Seraphine with the run-in, and here it comes, folks. That was the Crucifisado driver. That was some high-flying wizardry right there, so let's take another look. We're seeing some sweet Lucha Libre skills on display here, and this one will make a fine addition to our highlight reels. Seraphine looking to get the crowd going, and the crowd goes mild. This is still very much anyone's match, and we're just waiting for one of these teams to make a decisive move. Straight into the exposed turnbuckle goes Gazza. That one's definitely going to leave a welt. I gotta say, I'm a little surprised by how long this match has already gone. There goes another drive into the exposed turnbuckle, but Gazza is not staying there, and he turns the tables. Going for the run-up, but Seraphine's got his number. Up onto the middle ropes, and straight down into a missile dropkick. I gotta say, so far so good for Los Satanicos. But this match isn't a done burger until it's been grilled on both sides, slapped into a bun, and covered in barbecue sauce. Come to think of it, I'm starting to get a little peckish. Gazza laying down some more Queensberry rules, and down to the mat he goes. Once again, referee Henrietta Sorenson is otherwise occupied, but Elio breaks it up. That right there is the downside of playing silly buggers with the turnbuckle pads. Into the corner he goes, but the tag is once again denied. Seraphine going for a bit of an arm wringer, and he makes him eat defeat. And here comes some more silly buggers with the turnbuckle pads. I've told you people a million times, just glue the damn things on. But never to worry, because referee Henrietta Sorenson is all over this one like flies on crap. Seraphine sounding off with a salvo of strikes. There's the whip into the ropes and straight into the kitchen sink. A bit of nasty business with that stomp puller there, and we got a little bit of snap, crackle, and plop. Gazza grabbing the waist and going for yet another sidewalk slam. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for him to learn another move, and there's a tag to Big Wally. Can he get the pin? Oh, for God's sakes. Classic Pickpockets right there, and he gets a telling off from referee Henrietta Sorenson. Seraphine with the arm wringer and a kick to the chin. And really, are we doing this again? If I was the one running things, wrestlers would get a very stern telling off for fiddling with those turnbuckle pads. But unfortunately, folks, I will never be running things around here. 40 years from now, I'll still be doing the same commentary gig. I'll be working for General Manager Little Andrew Sorenson, who's all grown up with a moustache of his own. And I guarantee the only wrestler from now still wrestling will be Yo-Yo Brown. Unless he disappears through another wormhole, I am never going to be rid of that guy, and there's the tag to Elio. Big Boot taking Gazza to the mat. Elio looks like he's going for something big, and do my eyes deceive me? Or is that a Siberian crucifix, as done by Grigory Kalishnikov? Wrestlers tend to get a little touchy about other wrestlers stealing their moves. So I wouldn't be surprised if that one's going to cause problems down the line. Elio going for a crushing bear hug. And straight into a belly-to-belly suplex. Can he take the pin? Break up from Big Wally. But that one really squeezed the air out of Gazza's lungs. I could hear a sound from here. Here comes the whip into the corner. Little assistance from Seraphine. Elio hell-bent and putting his opponent in the corner, but Gazza is having none of it. There's a little ballet, and straight down into a backbreaker. And to that guy in the audience holding the "Who Farted" sign, whoever smelt it, dealt it. It's what The Rock was cooking this whole time. And given Dwayne The Rock Johnson's latest string of box office duds, that one actually kind of tracks. For many years in wrestling, people have talked about rock fatigue, which is exactly what it says on the tin. It's nice to know that the general movie-going public is getting a heapin' helping of that too. And into the corner goes Big Wally, and there's a tag to Seraphine. We're about to see something big, folks. We got a Mexican muscle buster. Seraphine off the top ropes. And down into a vicious double stomp to the gut. That was the call of Cuddy and Pembe. Can he get the pin? Pin gets broken up, and let's see that one again. In Elio and Seraphine's religion, Cuddy and Pembe is the devourer of souls. He's somewhere between a rough equivalent of the Grim Reaper and Satan, and he's exactly who you want to call when you want your enemies crushed and driven before you. I don't think we're gonna hear any lamentations from the women though. The last time Jonesy sent an unsolicited DM to Shawnee from the Coven, he got a black eye for his troubles, and that was on his birthday. And the lesson to all you guys out there is don't be sending unsolicited DMs. But if you absolutely must, don't write something like, "Girl, you got to get with this." But if you really must do that, then at least try not to misspell girl and this. Seraphine going off the top rope. Shazam! That move would have been totally badass, but unfortunately nobody was home. Big Wally stunned against the ropes. And here comes Seraphine with the Arabian press into a Hurricane Rana. And I'm sorry folks, but the fact that Jonesy got beaten up twice on his birthday will never not be hilarious. Good gravy, look at the height on that. That was one flapjack over easy. And because I'm not American, I'm gonna assume that flapjacks are the same things as pancakes. Or at least similar enough that one can drench them in maple syrup. And I'm not sure if they have this in America, but we also have pikelets, which are like miniature pancakes. Seraphine going for a dirty move, but Big Wally's got his number. You can't out-dirty the dirtiest players in the game. Big Wally dribbling liters of sweat into his $3 track pants, and Seraphine is not staying in the corner. Tagged with a step-up enziguri. But folks, it doesn't matter if they're pancakes or pikelets, but at the end of the day, it's all just a delivery mechanism for delicious maple syrup. And if you've never tried putting maple syrup on ice cream, you gotta give it a go. You'll be thanking me later. And speaking of maple syrup, the last I heard, the Blue Bomber Whitney Olivier is still in hospital, and we got a massive body splash from Elio. I'm not sure when she'll be out of hospital, but she will absolutely be wanting revenge on Miss Venice Beach, Candice Devereaux. Face first into the apron, and hitting that leg drop. All other concerns aside, I gotta say that all of these wrestlers have really given this Linwood crowd its money's worth. And seriously guys, haven't you had enough? Those turnbuckle covers cost money. God only knows what Seraphine's doing there on the apron, but Big Wally is back on his feet and back on his way to the ring. And to that guy in the audience who just yelled out, I love you too, man. Let's hug it out later. And there's the tag to Gaza. Posting up off the middle rope and another falling axe handle to the arm. Elio looking to stitch this one up with some brutal strikes. Another whip into the exposed turnbuckle and another big red welt on Gaza's back. Is that there gonna be enough for the pin? 1, 2, 3. Los Satanicos take the win and the championship titles. Let's see some highlights from Ernie the cameraman. I gotta say folks, this was a match that really went the distance. Usually it's the women's division with their superior cardio having these big long matches, so I gotta tip my hat to everybody involved in this match. But just to be absolutely clear, I don't like any of them. While I'm not thrilled to death that Los Satanicos are our new men's tag team champions, I am delighted that the Cockney Pickpockets aren't the champions anymore. Swings and roundabouts, people. Swings and roundabouts. Congratulations to our new men's tag team champions, Elio and Seraphine of Los Satanicos. This is the second time around they've held the championships, and their stock in Secta del Muerte just went up. The Godmother's gotta be very happy with Secta del Muerte claiming another belt. To be honest, I'm just happy that nobody in Broforce 1 has these championships. Unless they start dipping their toes into the tag divisions, hopefully that's something we'll never have to worry about. I got my fingers crossed. Well, folks, I'm sorry to say it, but that is all the time we have for this week. I know exactly where my bread is buttered, and I hope you know I'm always going to thank you guys every outro. But this time around, I really want to thank you guys for making the last episode, Knuckle Sandwiches for the Soul, so successful. I hope you dug that one, I hope you dug this one, and I hope you're going to dig the one we got next week. And as I may have alluded to earlier, we are going to have something very special indeed next week for all of you loyal hounds of Linwood Wrestling Legends watching in the Emerald Isle. And folks, I will take a pack of loyal hounds over a flock of mindless sheep any day of the week. And speaking of days of the week, be sure to come back next Sunday for the next episode. Until then, this is your host, color commentator, and good buddy John, signing off and signing out.